Hundreds and thousands of people have gathered in London to pay their final respects to Queen Elizabeth II. Later today, Britain's longest reigning monarch will be buried alongside her late husband, Prince Philip. The final ceremonies will commence in just a short while from now. The guests have started settling in as the UK police have been carrying out their biggest security operation in modern history. With me on the broadcast this minute is Cameron Walker from London, a royal reporter. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast. The UK seemingly has come to a standstill as it bids farewell to the longest-serving monarch. What do you have to say about the mood in the UK right now?
I think over the last 10 days there's been an absolute outpouring of grief for Her Majesty the Queen, a sovereign who has reigned over this country and indeed the Commonwealth for over 70 years or so. People have been camped out on the procession routes over the last few days. The queues to see Her Majesty the Queen lying in state in Westminster Hall have been incredibly long, up to 10 miles long. At its absolute peak, people were waiting for 25 hours to see Her Majesty the Queen lie in state, to pay their personal respects to Her Majesty the Queen. We're expecting the funeral today, for example, to be watched by a global audience of about 4 billion people. So I think that just gives a sense of the global reach of Her Majesty the Queen, as well as here in the UK. It's a bank holiday today. The government has ordered it to be a bank holiday, so many shops and businesses are shut. So I think as many people as possible in this country can watch Her Majesty the Queen's funeral.
Right, if you can tell us just how different is the Queen's funeral as opposed to what the UK has seen in the past few decades?
Well, this is the first state's funeral we've seen in this country since Winston Churchill's in 1965, so I think that gives you a sense of just how rare this kind of event is. The state gun carriage, which will be used to carry the Queen's coffin from Westminster Hall to Westminster Abbey, was first used in 1901 for Queen Victoria's funeral, and it's been used for a number of state funerals since. So George V, the Queen's father, George VI, as well as Louis Mountbatten and Winston Churchill, of course, as well. I think it differs from the last few decades because we haven't seen a state funeral. Thousands and thousands of soldiers and military personnel are going to be taking part. We've had Princess Diana's funeral, we've had the Queen Mother's funeral, but they were not state funerals, they were ceremonial funerals. And one of the main differences is the state gun carriage is going to be pulled by Royal Naval ratings, in other words, kind of junior sailors, as opposed to horses, which is what would happen in a ceremonial funeral. And as I said, thousands of people are camped out in central London here to watch it all unfold before their eyes, because it's a part of history.
Right. If you can also tell us about the proceedings of the day, what is expected and the significance of those proceedings.
So Her Majesty the Queen's coffin is going to be taken from Westminster Hall to here, Westminster Abbey, where an hours-long funeral service is going to be taking part from 11 AM UK time to 12 PM UK time, so about an hour long. We're expecting just over 2,000 people actually to line the route here at, 2,000 people to congregate within Westminster Abbey, and there's going to be a number of different guests. Of course, the royal family will be taking part, as well as a number of foreign heads of state, including the US President Joe Biden. A number of charities associated with Her Majesty the Queen are going to be there too, alongside George Cross and Victoria Cross holders, those people who have been awarded it by Her Majesty the Queen for exceptional bravery for an event, for an incident that they had to deal with. So a lot going on here, as well as, of course, the big state ceremonial processions through central London. Thousands of people camped out for ages to see this funeral procession take place today. So a lot's going on in the next few hours.
Right. Prince William's two children, George and Charlotte, will be walking behind their great-grandmother's coffin at the Westminster procession. Can you detail for us the royal traditions and their importance?
So Prince George and Princess Charlotte, the Prince and Princess of Wales' two oldest children, are going to be part of the procession, we're told, or at least according to the official programme of events that's happening today. They were actually here at Westminster Abbey for the Duke of Edinburgh's memorial service at the start of the year. Prince George is 9 years old, Princess Charlotte is 7, so no doubt their parents and the royal family felt it was appropriate for them to be here to say goodbye to their great-grandmother as well as their queen. And of course, Prince George is the future king of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, so no doubt it will create this image of a continuation of the monarchy, even though we're saying goodbye to our late sovereign who's served this country for over 70 years.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.